What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Today I am doing Laphroaig Lore. This beautiful bottle of whiskey has whiskey dating back to 1993. It was bottled in 2016, which makes the oldest whiskey in this bottle about 23 years old. There's probably whiskey as young as 10 years old in there because it's ex-bourbon casks, ex-sherry casks, then refill bourbon casks, and finished in some whiskey finished in sherry hogsheads. So there's a lot of sherry influence in this, but I'm thinking some of those ex-bourbons were probably from the 10-year-old or possibly even the quarter cask, which might be even a little younger. But the reason why I think it's at least 10 years old is because of how smooth this whiskey is. On the nose, when you first pour it, you get some of those classic Islay smells that you would expect from a Laphroaig and a Ardbeg and a Lagavulin. Some of that rubbery, medicinal iodine type notes. When it sits in the glass for, let's say, 10-15 minutes, all you're really smelling is a little bit of campfire and sherry. That's really what dominates. You'll get a little bit of vanilla. I spent some time with this. I've had probably about 4 drams out of this bottle, which I need to thank Tony for sending this to me because it's a beautiful bottle of whiskey. I'm really enjoying this. So this has been sitting for about 15 minutes or so. I bet, or I do know that as it sits in the glass, it gets better and better. You can start to pick out way more of those sherry notes, a whole bunch of vanilla from the ex-bourbon casks. I love this dram. It's excellent. And I just want to talk about the evolution of a whiskey palate, because a lot of people, when they first start drinking scotch, they either love peated whiskey or they hate peated whiskey. The people that hate peated whiskey sometimes take a very long time to develop the palate for it. Sometimes they never do. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of peated whiskey when I first started this channel. I would do it from time to time, but it wasn't my go-to. This year, I've made it my mission to do a lot of peated whiskey, especially from the region of Islay. I do have some non-Islay peated whiskeys, like an Italian peated whiskey. I do plan on doing some of the Japanese and some of the Chinese and Indian peated whiskeys as well. So we'll see what 2018 brings. But for now, back to this Laphroaig Lore. So, like I said, it's been sitting for a while. We're getting those sherry notes, the raisiny, sweet, jam-like notes. Campfire for sure. Very nice stuff on the nose. On the palate, it's bottled at 48%. I don't think there's added color because of the amount of sherry casks used in this, but it doesn't say it anywhere on the bottle or box. It's non-chill filtered, which is great. This one goes for about $200 at the LCBO. It goes for much less elsewhere. I think I've seen it around 150 to 160 in Alberta and even less in the United States. So unfortunately, Ontario taxes tend to jack up the price, especially when it's bottled more than 40%. So for whatever reason, the higher the ABV, the higher the tax. I'm sure some of you know what the reasoning behind that is. My guess is that it's just more alcohol for your dollar, so they decide to tax it more. But definitely, for a no-age statement, I would say it's definitely worth buying in Ontario at that price. You're getting 23-year-old whiskey in here. Yes, I know there's going to be those people that say, yeah, but it's probably a lot younger. and the average age is probably a lot younger. And you don't know how much 23-year-old whiskey is in there. Those are all true points. But based on the taste, it's smooth, it's sweet. There's nothing that indicates that this is younger than 15 years old on the palate, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion. I will say, however, that peated whiskeys have a funny way of masking a younger whiskey. So you notice that in stuff like Octomores, where they range from 5 to 8 years old, and they don't taste, you don't get that alcohol burn at all, in my opinion. I will be doing the Octomore 7.4 next. Anyway, back to this. Beautiful nose. If you like Islay peated whiskey, this is definitely a treat for you, in my opinion. Like I said, no alcohol burn whatsoever. There's a nice, well-roundedness to this. The only thing that I would say this is missing is that viscosity that you would expect from an unchill filtered whiskey at 48%, but it does have a decent amount of viscosity to it. You can tell on the glass that it has some legs. That buttery note that I associate with viscosity, I'm not typically getting. Other than that, this is really, really good stuff. Very close to an A+, if not an A+. It's at least, I would say, between an 89.5 to a 90. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this an A+, because my scoring allows a 90 to be an A+, and on any given day I would probably go up as much as 90.5. So it's a 90.5 or a 90, give or take a point or a half a point. All right. Really, really good stuff. Honestly, if you like peated whiskey, this is definitely for you. I wouldn't say, if you don't like peated whiskey and you want to introduce yourself to peated whiskey, don't start with this one. Go to something a little lighter, like the Select. Even though I didn't like the Select as much as, nowhere near as much as I like this one. I do think that would be a better beginner peated whiskey. Okay, so you're gonna get your sherry influence if you like that sort of thing. You're gonna get that ex-bourbon influence if you like that as well. But most of all, if you like peated whiskey, this is definitely the one for you. All right. So like I said, it's a 90. It's an A+. Really, really nice stuff. Next video that's coming out will be my Octomore 7.4 review. Following that one, I do mention and taste the 8.1 in that video, but that'll be following. Okay, so this will come out on a Monday. Octomore 7.4 will be on a Friday, and this will follow with the following Monday. Then I do have a whole bunch of other Islas lined up, as well as a whole bunch of Glendronics. Not exactly sure which order I'm going to do that in. I know a lot of people are requesting the Glendronic month, but I don't know if I have enough for a Glendronic month. I do have quite a bit of Glendronic though, so we'll see what happens. I might mix them back and forth between Glendronics and Islas, just to kind of get some variety. Other thing I was going to say is I will be starting to number those pictures that you guys posted for the Lot 40 cast strength competition on my Snups group page. So go through, if you haven't watched the video already, go to my Macallan Edition 3 review. I talk about how you can enter into the contest for the Snups giveaway, which will be the Lot 40 cast strength. Okay, but basically what I'm just gonna do is all the people that posted their favorite picture in the group will get a number from 1 to however many people we put. The due date I am gonna set out is as soon as January ends. So you have from now till the end of January to post a picture of your favorite whiskey in your collection or your favorite whiskey of all time, and that's got to go in the Whiskey in the Six Snups group. So join Snups, and you can figure out how to do that on one of my previous videos, and then that way you can be entered in the draw for the Lot 40 Cask Strength. I will be picking the number on my channel the first video of February, and then, or picking a number, sorry, of the person who wins the first video in February, and then you guys will know, because you'll be able to see the number that I draw, because I'm going to use a random automated number picking app, basically. All right, so Laphroaig Lore, really nice stuff. I say you check it out. You guys can check me out at on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and you can also check me out on Snups. If you like this video, click the like button, because that seems to help get the word out about my channel and what we're doing here. Okay, let me know if you see anything you really want to see, you really want to hear a review on in the next little while, because I will be taking some requests based on the fact that I'm kind of confused as to where to start, because I have a lot of great whiskey behind me. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.